Victoria, you caught him cheating, you didn't cut off his penis? Cut off his penis? Lol, or poison him? Let him be. Men will always be polygamous in nature. I'm not here for tea, I'm here for answers.
If you had seen us on our wedding day, you would have called us goals. I remember standing at that altar in my white gown, looking at Adrian, tall, broad-shouldered, the kind of man who made other women stare. And I thought to myself, God was generous with me. We danced until midnight. We laughed the whole honeymoon. In those early years, Adrian brought me flowers for no reason. He called me from work just to say he was thinking of me. Our home was warm. Our bed was safe. I was happy. But happiness, I've come to learn, has an expiry date if you are not careful. It was a Tuesday evening when everything shifted. I had come home early from work. My boss had cancelled the meeting, and I walked into my own house, carrying takeout bags and humming a song I can't even remember now. I pushed open the bedroom door. I will not describe what I saw. I don't need to. You already know. I stood there for exactly 3 seconds. I counted. 1, 2, 3. Then I quietly closed the door, walked to the kitchen, set the takeout bags on the counter, and sat down at the dining table. I did not scream. I did not cry. I did not break a single plate. When Adrian eventually came downstairs, straightening his shirt, his face was the color of a man who expected war. His eyes were wide. His hands were trembling slightly. I looked at him and said,
Your food is on the kitchen counter. Eat before it gets cold.
He stared at me like I had spoken in a foreign language. That was 7 months ago. My best friend Sandra found out 3 weeks later. She sat across from me in the same kitchen, her eyes filled with the kind of outrage that belongs to a woman who has never had her heart tested. And she said, Victoria, you caught him in your own house, in your own bed, and you're still here. I poured her tea. She pushed the cup aside. He apologized and you forgave him. Fine. But Sandra told me he's still doing it. You know he's still doing it. So what are you waiting for? What exactly are you waiting for? I looked at her for a long moment before I answered. Sandra, I said.
What do you have me do? Divorce him? Go outside and scream? Cry till I destroy myself? Kill my children's father over something that has existed since the beginning of time?
She opened her mouth. I didn't let her speak.
No man is perfect. No marriage is perfect. God did not build any human to be everything you need. Not tall, rich, faithful, and kind all at once forever. That is not how this world was designed.
Adrian is a man. Men are wired the way they are wired. I cannot change him. But it's breaking you, she whispered. I smiled. And that smile, that quiet, unreadable smile, was the moment Sandra realized she did not know me at all. Because what I was planning, not even Adrian suspected it. There is something deeply unsettling to a man when his wife stops crying. Adrian had expected tears. He had prepared for screaming, for thrown plates, for ultimatums delivered at midnight. He had a whole script ready in his head. The apology, the promises, the "it will never happen again" speech that men rehearse like a song they have sung before. But I never gave him the stage. And that silence, it was eating him alive. I watched it happen slowly. He started coming home earlier. Not because he had changed, no, but because he was watching me, studying me, trying to find a crack in the wall. He would sit across from me at dinner, searching my face for anger, for pain, for something, and I would simply pass him the salt and ask about his day. He didn't understand me anymore, and a man who doesn't understand his wife will do one of two things. He will either fall back in love with her, or he will push harder. Adrian chose to push. It was a Saturday afternoon. I had just come back from the salon. Fresh hair, fresh nails, a new dress I had bought for myself because I had started doing that lately, buying myself things quietly, intentionally. And I walked into my home to find not one, but 2 pairs of heels at my front door. 2 women's shoes in my house, on a Saturday afternoon. I stood at that door for a moment. The old Victoria, the one from 2 years ago, would have collapsed, would have sat on that doorstep and wept until the neighbors came out. But I picked up my handbag. I turned around. I went to my favorite restaurant, ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, ate alone at a table by the window, and watched the sun go down over the city like a woman who had absolutely nothing to worry about. Because here is what Adrian did not know about me yet. I had stopped investing in the marriage the same night I closed that bedroom door. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, the way water moves underground. You don't see it, you don't hear it, but it is reshaping everything beneath your feet. I had started waking up at 5 in the morning. I had gone back to a business idea I abandoned 3 years ago when I got pregnant with our second child. I had made 3 phone calls to people I had not spoken to in years. I had opened an account that Adrian's name was not on. Sandra called me that same Saturday evening, frantic, because one of the neighbors had apparently seen me leaving and called her. Victoria, he brought two this time. Two. And you went to eat dinner? The fish was very good, I told her. I'll take you there sometime. She was quiet for so long I thought the call had dropped. Then she said very slowly, Victoria, what are you planning? I smiled into the phone. Sandra, I said, do you know what the most dangerous woman in the world looks like? She didn't answer. She doesn't look angry, I said. She doesn't look hurt. She smiles. She sleeps well. She eats her food. She does her hair. And every single day quietly, without anyone watching, she builds. The line was silent. Just keep watching, I told her. It's about to get very interesting. And I hung up the phone.
I won't be your secret side chick anymore, Adrian.
Please, not here. You're embarrassing me.
I don't care. I'm done.
They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But what I served Adrian was not revenge. It was something far more powerful than that. It had been 14 months since I closed that bedroom door. 14 months since I smiled instead of screamed. 14 months since I quietly, invisibly began building something in the dark, brick by brick, before sunrise, while Adrian slept soundly in the bed we still shared, unbothered and unconcerned, like a man who had never once considered that the woman beside him had a mind of her own. That was his greatest mistake. Not the cheating, not the 2 pairs of heels at the door, not the brazenness, the disrespect, the complete and total assumption that I would stay small and silent forever. His greatest mistake was underestimating me. My business had started in a notebook, a plain black notebook I kept in my work bag where Adrian would never look because Adrian had not shown interest in my work bag in 4 years. 3 phone calls became 10. 10 became a small client. A small client became a contract. A contract became a team of 4 people working under me by month 8. By month 12, I had moved out of the spare bedroom I had quietly converted into an office and into a proper space. My name on the lease, my name on the door. Sandra cried the day she saw it. I didn't. I just hung up the sign and went back to work. It was on a Thursday, ordinary, grey, unremarkable Thursday, when everything Adrian had built on assumption finally collapsed on him. He had been careless, more careless than usual. One of the women he had been seeing had apparently decided that being a secret was beneath her, and she had gone to Adrian's workplace, walked in through the front door, asked for him by name, and caused a scene so spectacular that 3 of his colleagues called their wives before lunchtime. By 3 o'clock, it was everywhere. By 5 o'clock, Adrian was home, standing in our kitchen, for the first time in 14 months, looking like a man who was genuinely afraid. He talked for 40 minutes. I let him. He apologized. He explained. He promised. He brought up the children. He brought up the years. He brought up the wedding, the altar, the white dress, the dancing until midnight. His voice cracked once. His eyes were wet. And when he finally finished, when every word had been said and the kitchen was quiet, I stood up, smoothed my dress, and looked at him for a long time. Adrian, I said, I stopped waiting for this conversation a long time ago. He blinked. I used to think that if I stayed calm, if I stayed patient, if I just gave you enough space, you would wake up. That one morning you would look at me and remember what you had. I picked up my handbag from the counter, but I woke up instead. Victoria, my lawyer will be in touch, I said. The children will be fine. I'll make sure of that. I walked to the front door. You're leaving? His voice was small, smaller than I had ever heard it. I turned around one last time and I smiled. That same quiet, unreadable smile that had confused him for 14 months. The smile Sandra once said frightened her. The smile that had nothing behind it except absolute, unshakable peace. No, Adrian, I said softly. I'm not leaving. I already left. I left the night I closed that door, and you were too busy to notice. I walked out into the evening air. My phone was ringing before I reached my car. Sandra, I answered. Tell me everything, she breathed. I laughed. A real laugh. The kind that starts in your belly and takes over your whole body. There's nothing to tell, I said. It's done, it's been done. I'm just the last one to make it official. I started my car. My name was on the door of a business. My children were healthy. My account, the one without his name, had a number in it that would have surprised him. I had not screamed. I had not begged. I had not broken. I had simply chosen myself. And that, in the end, turned out to be more than enough.
Adrian, I am here to stay. I told you I can't be kept hidden forever. Besides, your wife is gone.
No, you can't stay here. Please leave.